Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmonster3, and yeah, I am now gonna go back to what am I talking about? Oh wow, what a terrible intro! I'm just gonna tell you that this is gonna be an update video with plenty of titles. So yeah, just wanted to say that, and also I am trying to aim to go back to the top 10 lists as well because I haven't made a top 10 list in quite a while, and I know that I have numerous of top 10 lists like saved for a particular occasion, or like whenever I'm gonna make the video. So yeah, enough about that. Let's start with the update video. So this is gonna be a VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray update, and I'm gonna try to put all of the horror DVDs in one category and the other DVDs in another section, and then I'm gonna go through the Blu-rays like pretty much randomly, like in no particular order really. So yeah, that's just how it goes. So first off, we're gonna start with the VHS tapes. There's only two of them this time around, but this one really caught my attention because of the cover art, which looks really brutal. Now I have to look on IMDb because the original title is not anywhere to be found on this VHS, but the film is called Lethal Pursuit from 1988. Yeah, look at that cover art. Looks badass. And I don't think this movie has any other release either. I mean, it seems like it doesn't have a DVD or Blu-ray release. That's what I wanted to say. And then we have the film called Out of Control from the early 80s. I believe this is from 1984. I don't think that says something. Yeah, here we have it. Yeah, 1984. Read a little bit about the plot about these films. That's the main reason why I wanted to get them, and also they were from the 80s, so I figured why the hell not. So yeah, yeah, that's the VHS tapes. Let's move on to the DVDs. So here we are again. So the first DVD is like a double pack with the films Invasion Earth, The Aliens Are Here, and DEFCON 4. The main reason why I wanted to get this was because of this film, Invasion Earth, The Aliens Are Here, because DEFCON 4 I already had in like an old like Anchor Bay DVD. So, and I think this was the only way to get this particular film. So yeah. And then we have a film with Gary Busey, real old UK DVD release, because based on the 18 logo on the back, on the front. So yeah, Steel Sharks. Picked it up because of Gary Busey, really like some sort of action type film from the late 90s. So yeah. And then we have a film with Billy Zane and Kelly McGillis called Morgan's Ferry. Some tense thriller action type deal, I believe. Most of these, I believe, in this particular stack is actually action films. So yeah. Then we have Redneck with Telly Savalas and Franco Nero. Oh, that's a really interesting cast. Never seen this before. From 1973, directed by Silvio Narisano. Probably butchered his name, but yeah. I really appreciate Telly Savalas as an actor. I mean, especially when he has something to do, because in some films that I've seen him appear in, he just seems to be that guy behind the desk. So, well, the next one is a film that I do know quite recently got a Blu-ray released by Vinegar Syndrome, but that release was pretty expensive, so I thought, well, why the hell not? Should I not put? I mean, uh, get this particular release because it was fairly cheap. So, and the film is called In the Cold of Night. I believe, yeah, In the Cold of the Night by Nico Mastorakis. He's sort of like a hit and miss. Either you really like his films or you think they're really bad. It just seems like 50-50 in like filmography. And then we have a film with Jack Palance from the late 70s, and also with Richard Roundtree, Portrait of a Hitman. Yeah, really amazing cover art on that. I mean, I do have to say, even though the Hollywood DVD releases seems to be rather cheap in a certain degree, at least they have some sort of entertaining looking cover art to them. So yeah. And then we have this 4-pack, Martial Arts 3. The main reason why I picked this one up was because of one particular film, which I am going to get to eventually. So the films in this are, uh, yeah, Secret Ninja, Roaring Tiger, Dragon Fighter, the Leopard Fist Ninja, and Revenge of the Drunken Master. And Revenge of Drunken Master was the main reason why I picked up this 4-pack, because I have never laughed so much in my entire life after watching a film. Because I remember me and my friend Daniel, we watched Revenge of Drunken Master, and we laughed so much that my father actually was like outside on the street, and he said, do you guys know that your laughter can be heard from outside? That's how much we laughed when we watched the film. It's such a weird mess of a film, and it's just hilarious to me. The other ones are kind of mediocre, if I remember correctly. They sort of blend into one for me because they are so similar to one another. I think two of them were directed by Godfrey Ho, and another one was directed by someone else who I can't remember the name of, but yeah. And we have some more martial arts films. I've seen 3 of the films in this set. We have Kickboxer 3, Lethal Ninja, Expect No Mercy, and The Ninja Squad. Kickboxer 3 is the only one in this box set which I haven't seen yet. Lethal Ninja I thought was quite underrated. That had a horrible rating, but I quite enjoyed that one. Expect No Mercy, however, I was kind of disappointed on. And The Ninja Squad is another one of those Godfrey Ho films that doesn't make any sense, but is so extremely funny. I quote that there's a quote in this film that I always come back to, like, "You killed Billy!" And for those of you who have seen this film, you know what I'm talking about. Such a fun film. And then I decided to pick up this one. I've only seen this once, and I thought it was kind of bad. But then again, I thought, well, it has James Hong and Lorenzo Lamas in it, so I thought, well, why the hell not? Gladiator Cop. Yeah. Then we have the film with the Cameron Mitchell in his little hood, and also Leo Fong, who I realized passed away just about like 1 or 2 weeks ago, unfortunately. I mean, he did get to be like 93 years old, so he was quite old at the time now when he passed away, but low blow. I already had this one in like this was like a million movie pack or whatever. So I thought, well, this release I'm gonna get this one because the cover art is really funny to me. So yeah, low blow. I mean, it's a really fun, low budget schlock trash fest from the 80s. And then we have another one of those 4-packs released by Hollywood DVD. There's Cyborg Cop 2, No Code of Conduct, and Operation Delta Force 5. The only one I already had in this set before was Operation Delta Force 5. The other ones I did not have before, and the main reason why I wanted to get this was because of Cyborg Cop and Cyborg Cop 2 with David Bradley. Yeah, No Code of Conduct. I've not heard anyone talk about that one, so we'll get to that one eventually as well. And then we have, I was so shocked when I found out, because I had no idea about this before I bought the film, because the main reason why I picked up this film was because of Cynthia Rothrock. And the movie is Honor and Glory. And yeah, this is directed by Godfrey Ho, and that kind of made me, I'm not sure if it made me like glad or if I was surprised, or I mean, it didn't really come across as a Godfrey Ho film when you watched the front cover. But then again, this is from the 90s, and I've only seen like 2 or 3 Godfrey Ho films from that decade, and those have not been particularly good. So yeah. Then we have the film called East LA Warriors, which I've been told that this cover art is extremely misleading in some way. Yeah, 80s action, probably fun type film. And then we have the film called Sword of the Bushido, which I didn't even know had a DVD release, but something tells me this is a really not low budget, but this is a pretty cheap looking like release. But then again, I mean, at least it's not a VHS tape. I mean, I could almost guarantee that this is probably like a VHS transfer, but I don't care. It's the film itself that I'm looking for. And then we have another one of those weird releases, American Eagle, late 80s action film. And then we have this one. This is a funny, really funny cover art to me. City Dragon. Look at that cover art. It looks really stupid and ridiculous. And it's so weird because it says it has a guy named John Williams on it on the front cover, but then it also says MC Kung Fu. Is someone actually called MC Kung Fu? I don't know. That's just really weird, but yeah. Yeah, let's continue. Then we have the film called Biggles, which is an 80s adventure action type deal with Peter Cushing as well. So, yeah. Then we have a film called Another You, which for some reason is sort of like a sequel to See No Evil, Hear No Evil, apparently, or at least according to this DVD, because the Swedish title of the first one is very similar to this one. So I'm not too sure how much this has something to do with See No Evil, Hear No Evil, but yeah, Another You is the English title for this. And then I picked up this one, a film called Madhouse with Kirstie Alley. And I think it's so weird because I think I have at least 2 or 3 other films with the exact same title. And I was so glad when I picked this one up as well, because I mean, this seems like a really fun 80s, not 80s, a really fun early 90s comedy film. And I also realized when I looked at the back of this, it actually says that Robert Ginty is also in this one, so that's also a plus. So, yeah. Now we have another Kirstie Alley film called Sibling Rivalry. This is pretty much a blind buy. I picked it up because it's from the early 90s. And this one I'm so glad I finally found. This usually went for stupid prices, but I found it for such a good price, so I couldn't pass on it. And the film is called Labyrinth from the 80s, of course. I'm not too sure if this has something to do with the what's it called? Crystal. Is it just called Crystal? What is the other film called? I think you probably know the other Jim Henson film. I'm not too sure if this has something to do with that one, or if it's connected, or if it's just directed by the same guy or something. Yeah, I can be so totally wrong about this one, but then again, I've never seen this film, but I always wanted to see it, so yeah. Then we have the film called Stiletto from the 70s crime type film with Alex Cord and Britt Eklund. Now this one I've already showed you before, so no need to show that again. Then we have the film called Jawbreaker. Read a little bit about the plot of this, and it sounded really funny and really hilarious to me. Picked up this UK DVD, which also comes with Swedish subtitles, because the Swedish release of this went for stupid money, so I thought, well, why shouldn't I just get the UK release for a much cheaper price, because they still had Swedish subtitles on it as well, so yeah. Then we have the film called Ghost Dog with what's his name? Oh, damn, what's his name? Forrest Whitaker, of course. It says so on the front cover. Yeah, I've only heard really good things about this one. I think was a good, or at least what I've heard, that this is a good mix between like cultures, like samurais and mobsters and stuff. I'm not really sure, but like, yeah, only heard good things about it though. Okay, here we go again with the titles. What is this called? City of God, I believe. Yeah, that's the title. City of God. I think I might have seen this one at one point. It might be the film that I've been looking for like ages. There was a film that I saw on TV like probably 15 years ago, which just stuck to me because it had something to do with young children that went around and slept like in small little huts, and they had pretty much nothing, and they had to fight for their lives from some sort of like gangs and stuff in the jungle or something. I mean, if you know what film I'm talking about, you leave me a comment down below. It might be this film, I'm not too sure, but I only heard good things about this one though. So yeah, City of God. And then we have the I think this is some sort of unofficial sequel type deal, or like standalone sequel, called City of Men. Yeah. Oh god, now you are going to laugh at me for this, because I have told you that I am a big fan of Sylvester Stallone, and I want to get my hands on every single Stallone film, or like whatever other film he's appeared in, except for the Spy Kids films, which I think was one of those I just have no interest in it. But this one, you're gonna laugh at me for this. Italian Stallion, the film he made before he became Rocky with the whole world. This is also known as The Party at Kitty and Studs, I believe. Yeah, The Party at Kitty and Studs. Some weird softcore type deal with Stallone in it. I mean, Stallone himself has even said that that's a piece of garbage, but I mean, it's a Stallone film. I just had to pick it up, and also I think that release goes for stupid money nowadays as well. So yeah. Then we have a film with the one and only Pam Grier, Sheba Baby. I remember this one being pretty damn entertaining. I think some of the midsection of the film was kind of lacking in storyline, I would say, but overall, a really good, fun action type deal. So yeah. Here we go again with the titles. Yeah, of course. Now we have the front on the back. Here we actually have the title. Gold of the Amazon Women. Apparently some made-for-TV film by Mark Lester, who of course made Commando and Firestarter and Class of 1984, among other really great films. So, yeah. Then we have another like musical film, which I thought, well, let's give it a go. Xanadu. Never seen, but I've always heard about this film before. And then we have the... Oh, of course, it doesn't say what the English title is. McKenna's Gold? Is that the name of the film? Maybe you recognize the front cover. It's with Gregory Peck and Omar Sharif. Yeah, I think it's called McKenna's Gold. If it's not called that, please let me know. Then we have the film called Demon Spies. This looks so crazy and fun that I had to pick it up. Japanese 70s action type deal. Yeah. Apparently directed by the same guy who made Lady Snowblood. Oh, and here we have 4-pack from Hollywood DVD with comedies. The main reason why I picked up this one was because of Combat Academy, which is a made-for-TV 80s comedy film. So here we have the titles. Combat Academy, Going Overboard, Drowning Mona, and Picking Up the Pieces. Now, Going Overboard, I've been told, is such a shitfest, really, one of the worst films of all time. That's what I've been told. But yeah, I'll have to see it for myself to see if I can handle the badness of that one. Then we have Takeshi Kitano's film called Brother, which I think was the first film he directed in the US, and apparently didn't go too well, or at least he was I don't think he was very pleased with the end result. So after that he told himself, I'm not going to direct another film in the US. So, but yeah, it's Kitano, so can be entertaining. Then we have The War of the Roses, with Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas and Danny DeVito. I believe this is also directed by Danny DeVito. Yeah, it is. Mainly picked this one up because of Kathleen Kennedy. So Kathleen Kennedy. What am I talking about? Kathleen Turner. God damn it. Oh, we're not gonna mention Kathleen Turner in this video anymore. Let's continue with the films. The next one is called The Sting, which is a film with, what's his name? Yeah, of course I can't remember his name. Paul Newman, of course. Sorry. Then we have the film called Twister with Bill Paxton, rest in peace, and also with what's her name? Helen. Me and names today doesn't really work well. Helen Hunt, yeah, of course. I've seen this once before, thought it was really entertaining, so decided to pick it up, so yeah. So now we're on to the horror DVDs. First up we have the film called Alien Species, which is so baffling to me because if you put in Alien Species on IMDb, you get 2 different films, and I couldn't figure out which one it was because the info doesn't seem to be correct on IMDb. So, but this is according to this DVD, this is directed by Dave Payne, but I can't even say if it's this particular film because on IMDb it says it has Maria Ford in it, but it doesn't say so on this DVD, which is really strange. So yeah, really weird. Then we have a late 90s horror film called Freak. Yeah, not heard anyone talk about this one, so I'm not sure if it's good or not. But where Blair Witch meets Psycho, that sounds interesting. Then we have the film called Invisible Temptation, another like 90s film which has something to do with Satanists or something, I believe. This cover art is truly atrocious to me. There is if you look this movie up on IMDb, that cover art that they have for the on IMDb, it looks really amazing. I really wish they could have had that particular cover art for this, but this, yeah, it looks awful. But then again, I can't judge the film by its cover because the film itself might be really entertaining. So, yeah. Then we have the film called Plague. This was picked up because of two reasons: the cover art and the director. The director of this also directed Bloody Birthday. Ed Hunt, I believe his name is. So, yeah, Plague. Then we have some Full Moon garbage, probably. Hell Asylum. You can see it's a Full Moon film by looking down there. Cool cover art, though. So, I mean, I can't say that this is going to be awful just because it's a Full Moon film, but because I'm still going to give it a shot. So, yeah. And this, though, I believe is this is a trauma film. This is another one which I've been wanting to get for quite some time. And the movie is Death by Temptation. And this has I think this is the one that has a guy called James Bond or whatever. I mean, for real, I think his real name is James Bond. Oh, I can be so wrong about that. Well, if you know more about it, let me know. Yeah, then we continue. The next one is the film called Demented, which unfortunately doesn't have the original title on the front cover because this is a German release, but this was the only release I could get my hands on of this film, because the other releases has been like region locked. I mean, Blu-rays really. So yeah, Demented from the early 80s. I think that might have been part of the Video Nasties, but I can be so wrong. Then we have our Jean Rollin film called Fascination. And this cover art is really awesome to me, with the lady on the front cover with the sight. Vampire sleaze, I can only assume because it's Jean Rollin, so yeah. Then we have this is a Norwegian film, a Norwegian exploitation film, I believe. This film is called Hora, which translates to slut or whore or something in English, pretty much. Not heard anyone talk about this one, but yeah, the cover art is really badass. Kind of makes me have some Hobo with the shotgun vibes to it, so yeah. Then we have the film called Come True, which was brought to my attention by my good friend Tim Walker, who recommended this to me because he said, well, if you like 80s stuff, you will probably like this one, because he sent me the soundtrack to this one, and now I thought, well, I need to get a hold of this film now. So yeah, Come True. Was a little bit pricey, I mean, for about quite some time, and then it dropped in price, and I thought, well, let's get it right away. Then we have a early 2000s film with Mickey Rourke in it. The film is called They Crawl. Yes, about some bugs, so I can only assume schlocky stupid CGI in that, probably. Then we have a film which I've been on the hunt for ages, and I finally found it, and the movie is called Let's Scare Jessica to Death. 70s ghost film or something, I believe. I've only heard really good things about it, though, so yeah. Then we have the film with, of course, I do know, I've seen some, how I like instructions, it sounds stupid to say, but how you pronounce her name, but I probably butcher her name still, but Edwidge Fenech, a film with her, and the movie is called Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key. What a strange title. Then we have this one, released by 88 Films. The movie is called Watch Me When I Kill. I really like this cover art as well. And then we have a film which I picked up mainly because of the plot. The plot sounded really interesting to me, and also because of what it says on the front cover. You'll never want to eat a kebab again. That got me interested. The movie is called K-Shop, British horror film from the early 2010s. And then we have some releases by oh god, these discs sounds like it's loose in here, but Intervision. The movie is called Dark Harvest. Yeah, and you also get the film called Escapes with Vincent Price as a bonus. Yeah. And then we have another double pack released by Intervision, Dream Stalker and Death by Love. I've not seen Death by Love, but I have seen Dream Stalker, and I thought the Dream Stalker was a fairly entertaining shot on video film, I believe it was. I could be so wrong, could be. Yeah. Then we have another Bruno Mattei film, and apparently he's called Martin Miller, at least according to the front cover. Another one of his cannibal films, In the Land of the Cannibals. Yeah, amazing cover art though. So yeah, early 2000s cannibal film. Probably gonna be a blast to check out. Then we have another Shadow Media film called Beyond the Seventh Door, which I thought I already had before, but I mixed it up with some other film, so yeah. Now this one I have seen before, and this is such a weird ass film, and I kinda liked it because of how weird and stupid it was. Phobe. Yeah, apparently this was like a film that sort of like got attention in Canada because they used to show this like in the middle of the night and from time to time, and then after that it just became like a myth or something, like, oh, you need to see this, and then Intervision picked it up on the DVD and released it. So yeah, Phobe, the xenophobic experiments. Sorry, I couldn't say that. Then we have Deported Women of the SS Special Edition, some sleaze from the 70s, Nazi exploitation type deal. So yeah. Now the next ones are not really horror films, but the main reason why I decided to put these in the same section of the video was because it's released by the same company, and it's like a sort of like a label that I collect, retro films, so you know what you're getting in for that. But the first one is called Plain Soleil. Probably butchered the title because it's a French film. Never seen before, but yeah, looks interesting. And then we have Honor Among Thieves, Charles Bronson. Yeah, we have, that's the company that I like, the label, the retro film that I collect. So yeah. And then we have Cold Sweat, which has an amazing looking cover art. Another Bronson film. And then a film with Telly Savalas and Martin Landau and Robert Shaw, a film called A Town Called Hell. Yeah. Really amazing looking cover arts on all of those, I have to admit. So now we pretty much go into the Blu-rays, and that's really what I meant by that, because it's also the retro film label. So yeah, the first one is called Watership Down. I already had this on the really old Swedish release. This is such a tragic and sad film, and I mean, even though the rabbits might look cute, don't let that fool you, because it gets really tense and grotesque towards the end, I must say, and really sad as well. So yeah, Watership Down. Still a really good film though. Then we have Road Games. Have had the old Swedish DVD of this. I also had an Anchor Bay release, which I gave away because there was no really need for me to have two different releases of that. But now I picked up the Blu-ray because of its a retro label, retro film label. So yeah, Road Games sort of has the Hitcher type vibes to it, really. So yeah, with Stacy Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis. And then we have the classic, The Howling, upgraded for the same reason, because of the retro film label. And then we have Cat's Eye, really underrated 80s horror anthology film. And then the last for the retro film series is going to be Stephen King's Silver Bullet with Corey Haim and Gary Busey. Yeah, I love this film. Such an amazing film. So let's put these away and let's continue with the Blu-ray section of the video. There's plenty of those actually when I come to think of it. So the first one is called Angel Town with Olivier Gruner. Saw a film not too long ago with him called Savate, which I thought, I mean, his acting in that was atrocious. But then again, this is from the late 80s, early 90s, so it might be better. So yeah. Then I picked up this one. I was so glad when I found this because these are films that I've been wanting to get for ages. And it has Bolo Young and Cynthia Rothrock in them. And I'm not sure if they are in every single one of these, but Tiger Claws 1, 2, 3, all 3 films. This is a limited edition as well, so limited to 5,000 copies. So really glad that I found this one. Really amazingly released as well. Speaking of action, the next one is another one which I was like so glad that I got my hands on, and it's the first films that I've got from this country, and it is Uganda. And of course, you probably know about this Hollywood super action with films such as Who Killed Captain Alex and Bad Black. These are so entertaining and funny, and it's such a charm to watch these films because they pretty much have no budget and no money, and you can tell they had a blast when they made these films. And I can say with a straight face that these films made in the slums of Uganda are better and more entertaining films than any new superhero film. Yeah, that is my opinion. So the next one, let's just leave the feud right there. So yeah, but then the next Blu-ray is of a film called the Culpeper Cattle Company, Western film from the 70s. Yeah, only heard really good things about this one, and I was trying to get a hold of the DVD first, but then I found the Blu-ray for a very good price and much better price, and it was easier to come across as well. So I thought, well, let's get the Blu-ray. So yeah, the film. And then we have a film which I also did have before, but I was such a big fan of this one, so I decided to pick up this one because of the all of the extras in it. And this is a film which I rarely hear anyone talk about. Grandmother's House. Really creepy. I mean, at least towards the end as well. This has such a nice atmosphere to it, and the ending just hits you like a punch in the gut, really. So, yeah, Grandmother's House, really great. Then we have some Paul Naschy type films. The first one up is The Devil Incarnate, and of course it's Mondo Macabro releases, so you know you're in for a treat. And then we have The Howl of the Devil. Yeah. And then we have Panic Beats. And the last Paul Naschy film is Inquisition. Yeah. Now the next 2 films I actually did have before, but I don't think these has ever been released with Swedish subtitles before, so that's another reason why I want to get these. Vamp, 80s vampire horror film. Just had to pick it up. Can't go wrong with that. Then we have a film which I've been seeing so many times. If you like the remake of The Blob, you're probably also gonna like this film. This Stuff. Also a film that I think was never released on the Swedish market up until Studio S released this Blu-ray. So it really came down to the fact that I'm such a big fan of the film. So that's the reason why I picked up this Blu-ray. So yeah. Then we have another film which I've been wanting to see for such a long time. I know this was part of some Hollywood DVD 4-pack or something, and when Nuta Films announced that they were going to release this, I was so overjoyed. The film is called Moon 44. Late 80s, early 90s sci-fi action, probably, so yeah. Then we have a fairly new Giallo film, I believe. The movie is called Nightmare Symphony. It's a really amazing looking cover art, if you ask me, so yeah. Now the next one is, this has numerous of other titles because it's an Italian film, but and this is an Italian film, but it's a German release, and I'm gonna tell you the English title of the film. The Hills Run Red. not the horror film from 2009. This is the 60s Western film. Um, I've heard some really good things about this one, and apparently Henry Silva has a really amazing performance in this as the bad guy. So yeah. Then we have another one of those limited editions, I believe. This is, I think this company, it's called Shock. What is it called? Culture Shock? Is that what it's called? This company? I'm not really sure. Culture Shock. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I think it's some sort of. I think it's a Vinegar Syndrome release. That's what I wanted to say. The American Scream from the 80s. And if I do this, you'll probably recognize this cover art underneath. Because this was only on VHS before. And then Vinegar Syndrome, I believe, was thinking, oh, let's release this on Blu-ray, because the old Blu-ray release I had before, not Blu-ray, the old VHS release I had before was in such a bad shape so I could barely even watch it. And halfway through I just gave up because the tape pretty much destroyed itself. So glad when I found this one, so yeah. Then we have another film which I always wanted to see, an 80s sci-fi film called Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. 80s sci-fi, and Molly Ringwald was the reason why I picked up this one. Yeah, and also Michael Ironside is apparently in this one as well, so that's also a plus. So yeah, Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. So the last things for this update is going to be two Blu-ray box sets. The first one being Cinematic Vengeance, 8 Kung Fu classics from director Joseph Kuo. I'm not really sure how you pronounce his name, but the movies included in this set are the films called The 7 Grandmasters, The 36 Deadly Styles, The World of Drunken Master, The Old Master, Shaolin Kung Fu, The Shaolin Kids, 18 Bronze Men, and Return of the 18 Bronze Men. And apparently this is also a limited edition, so if you want to get this edition, you will probably need to pick it up as soon as possible. So yeah, anyway, that's that one. And then we have the last box set for this, or the last thing I'm going to show you in this update video, Forgotten Jali or Forgotten Giallo Volume 1. I quite recently ordered Volume 2 as well, because I had not seen any of those films either. I was thinking of picking up Volume 3 as well, but I thought it was a little bit stupid because I already had at least 2 of those films before in other releases, so I thought there's no reason for me to pick up Volume 3. So, but anyway, this first, Forgotten Jali, we have Trauma, Police Are Blundering in the Dark, and The Killer is One of 13. And this is another Vinegar Syndrome release, so you know you're in for a treat with that one. So yeah, Forgotten Jali. So hope you enjoyed this really long update video, and yeah, keep your eyes open for the next video, and yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.